Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am happy to announce new series on algorithms with Python. In this tutorial, we will be looking at what's an algorithm, what are the different types of algorithm that we commonly use, then how to implement them using Python. Okay, now let's start with the first part, what's an algorithm. We have been hearing the term data structures and algorithms a lot, and in all coding interviews, it's a must thing that there will be a coding round of DS and algo. It's a playlist entirely for a beginner to learn algorithms. So let's start with the simplest explanation of an algorithm. It's something that converts an input to an output. Here, the black box in the center is actually the thing that converts the input to output. So what's inside this black box? Let's see. It can be a set of instructions in order to do a particular task, or rules that we need to follow in order to achieve something, or a procedure or a formula that we need to follow in order to get a particular result. So our end goal here is to accomplish something or solve a problem. So we can define an algorithm as a set of well-defined instructions to solve a particular problem. It takes a set of input and produces a desired output. So we can define anything as an algorithm that produces our desired output from a set of input. So there is no specific definition for an algorithm. It's how a person defines it. Now let's see the most commonly used example for explaining algorithms. Here, the ingredients are converted to a dish or a meal by following a recipe. We have been cooking, or sometimes we might have seen somebody cook, and they actually collect some ingredients and they will be following some pattern, and so a set of rules to make a dish out of it, right? So recipe here means a set of instructions that tells you how to cook something and the ingredients you need for it. So we need to follow a specific rule, right, to get a desired dish. In the noodles packet we see, right, they have provided the instructions over there to how to make a noodles out of it. So we can do the same process in different ways, but the end result is same, and the algorithm is something that is the most effective way out of that. The main part here to note is that we can approach a problem in different ways and find out the solution for the problem in several ways. As it is done by different people, their method of approach will be different, so their solution to the problem will be different too. Okay, now let's see an example. Here it's a program written in Python to generate square of a number. So here input is taken and output will be printed out. So let's see the lines of code. Here n is taken as an input, and it checks whether if n is a digit, then it will print out the square of n. Here 2 stars means exponent in Python, so it will print out the square of that number, else it says enter valid input. Here the input can be anything, but the output will be only the squares of numbers, that's all. We can call it as an algorithm for this particular task. We can do this same thing in different ways. Here we did the same thing using a function and if cases as in the previous way. Here we just defined a function as square, then took it and we called the function and did the same thing. And we can even simplify the code by using comprehension, but we still are doing the same thing. So in general, we use functions, conditions, then boolean expressions and loops to make up an algorithms. Let's see the input and output cases here. In the first case, 5 is the input and it's printed out as 25, as 25 is the square of 5. Then when we inputted a, it printed out enter valid input, and when we put an asterisk symbol over there, it also printed out enter valid input, and when it is 9, it printed out 81. we can do the same problem in different languages. It's just an example with the Python only. Okay, so we can do the same task in other programming languages too. So when we are defining an algorithm, it's not dependent on the language, it's language independent. We can do the same using different languages and different methods. It's entirely language independent. In order to show an example, I just used Python, that's all. So let's summarize it, what we learned today. The purpose of an algorithm is to solve and often automate a solution to a particular problem. So it's the main goal of an algorithm. Then algorithms do not currently have a legal definition. There is no unique definition for an algorithm. Then the algorithm design must be language independent. As we said earlier, we can do the same thing in different languages. So it's entirely language independent. So that's it all for today. In the next video, we can see what are the characteristics of an algorithm, the qualities that required for a algorithm to be good, then time and space complexity of an algorithm, and so on. Okay, if you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel.